Obelisk is a game of tower defense set in a fantasy world. This is a fantasy world in which there are demons that come out at night. The players are defenders of the land, and they will create obelisks that will magically entrap the demons. Then the demons turn into stone, and the stone can be used to build more obelisks. How very environmentally friendly. Now, this is a self-published game, and it is for 1 to 4 players, so it can be played solitaire, and it is a cooperative game. All players work together to defeat the demons, and all players win or lose together as a team. The lid of the box, which is what I just showed you, can also be used as a supply tray, in which you will place these tiles representing the demons. There are 3 types of demons: the blue, the yellow, and the green kind. And the blue one is the strongest but the slowest, the green is the fastest but the weakest, and the yellow one is middle of the road. At the beginning of the game, you will place a number of demons in the dark realm, which actually is just the bottom of the box. The number of demons that you place here is based on the difficulty level that you selected. The hardest you want the game to be, then the more demons you place here, and then you shuffle them once they're in here, and then you can put a piece of cloth on it to cover it, or more easily after you shuffle them, then you simply place them face down. Because during the game, these demons will be drawn randomly from the box, and they will be placed on the board in the play area. The play area is formed by shuffling these cards that you see here and placing them randomly in a 5x5 grid like the one that you see here. Now, some of these tiles are unplayable. They represent mountains. And so after you do setup, if you want, you can simply remove them to clarify which areas are playable and which ones are not. Or you can put them there because I really don't like the weird shape of an almost 5x5 grid, but not quite. It's 5x5 grid. I just remember I cannot play. I cannot perform actions or execute movement or do other things in the mountains. One of these tiles will be the portal. That is the area that the demons use to enter the board. From there, they will march on the board following those arrows here. If a demon ever walks out of the board or into a mountain or into a space that the demon already traveled into, you lose the game. So for example, and the demons will follow these arrows here that you see here. So a demon comes here, moves here, and then following the arrow moves here. That's a space that the demon already was in. I lose the game immediately. So as soon as I can, in this setup here, which remember is random, I need to start rotating tiles to create a path that my demons can use. You see these green tokens here. I know some of these tiles already green themselves, and so these sometimes disappear a little bit in the background. They blend in a little too much for my taste, but you can spend a token to rotate a tile, and again, you should do that if you would otherwise lose the game in turn 1. Each tile can only be rotated once per game, and this is why when you rotate it, you remove the token as a reminder that you cannot rotate those tiles anymore. Other concepts. Each player has a player aid. The player has different stats based on number of players. Here I've set up the game for 2 players. On one side, you have here reminder of the number of players so that you are applying that to, and here you have a reminder of what you can do during the day phase. Then you have player aids. On one side you have the turn order, and on the other side a reminder of what the demons can do, their stats, in particular of the strength it takes to capture them and the speed of the demon. The game is divided in day phases and night phases. During the day phase, the players will perform actions. The number of actions that you can perform will described on your player aid, and again it changes based on the number of players, but the actions are these ones. You can perform your actions in any order. You can repeat the same action if you have the right resources. For one action, you can place an obelisk. Obelisks are represented by dice. Each player has a number of dice. When you place an obelisk on the map, you place it at the intersection of multiple tiles, basically at the corner of 4 tiles, so it will be touching 4 tiles or a number of tiles in an empty space if you have removed the mountains. And say I could, for example, place an obelisk there. Later, mainly, I decide to place an obelisk there, but when you place an obelisk, you place it with one side face up, and that indicates the strength of the obelisk, so all obelisks enter the board as strength 1. For an action, you can rotate a number of tiles. Again, the number is based on the number of players. Say with fewer players, you can rotate more tiles per action. You can also mine the supply. You go back to the supply, and for an action, you take a green demon and you place it in the quarry, which is this card here that acts as a player A2. I suppose it has been a while and we have a number of demons there. Then, very important, we reinforce any obelisks. That is, we add a pip to an obelisk. From 1, we bring it to 2. From 2, we bring it to 3, and so on and so forth. For each improvement, for each increase, we need to spend resources. So we need to spend 4 green demons from the quarry. You simply take them and put them back there. Or 3 yellow demons, or 2 demons, or we sacrifice a die from our personal supply, so we cannot use that die as an obelisk anymore. So all players perform all of their actions, and then it is time for the demons to act. There may be a number of demons on the board, in which case you activate those first, and then you add 6 more demons to the portal. You reveal them, and then you move them too. You may want to divide them by type, stack them by type, because in any case, demons of one type will all move together. So first, the ones that are already on the board, again, you simply move them by their speed following the arrows. And then the ones that you just placed. So, for example, I have to move the green demons by 4, and so I take these ones to the 1, 2, 3, 4. The yellow demons by 3, 1, 2, 3, and the blue demons by 2, 1, 2. Now, as the demons move, they can be captured at night at any time during their movement by an obelisk that has a value which is equal to or higher than their strength. At any time during the movement, which means as they move, after they have moved, or before they moved. So, for example, with these kids here, these demons were moving here, and as they moved there, I place them there, move there, and as they land here, I take 1 and I move it there. You can capture a demon using an obelisk in a space adjacent to them, that is, with a corner touching the space in which they are. I could have also used the 3 to capture a yellow 3-level demon, right? No, I couldn't have, because you can see there are several tiles, actually a lot of tiles that have modifiers. This one pretty much reduces the effectiveness of the adjacent obelisk by 1. This space reduces the adjacent obelisk by 2. So to capture a level 3 demon, a yellow demon in that tile, in truth, I need a level 4 obelisk. If that was the case, then a demon appearing here, or moving here, or later moving here or here, then I could capture it. Well, if it's here, I can capture it with a 4, here with a 4, here actually I need a 5 to capture a level 3. So after the night phase, you move the demons on the board, you added demons to the board. After that, you hopefully will have a number of demons that you captured. Each obelisk can capture 1 demon. This is why you place the demons on the obelisk as a reminder. Then you collect these demons and you place them in the quarry where they become available resources for next turn. And say, this is the situation at the end of the next night turn. Then I move that demon first, that demon first, that demon first. Then I add new demons and I move those two. If the demons walk into a mountain or in a space that they already traveled to or out of the board, then the players lose the game immediately. If the player is able to capture all the demons, then they win the game. So Obelisk, it's a self-published game, and you can see it's a work of love. You really see that the designers put all of their love in it. One of them even rated it a 10 on Board Game Geek, so that's great. But of course that means you need to check who rates things, of course, when you look at the ratings. Me, I didn't love it nearly as much, I'm afraid. I didn't like it all that much. Various reasons. One is massive randomness. It happened to me once that simply the way the mountains came out during setup, parts of the lands were just sealed off. They were completely inaccessible. If there is something in the rulebook that mitigates that, I missed it, so that is my fault. But I can tell you that if that happens to you and the land where the demons can walk is very small, there isn't any chance for you to win. But in any case, that still, there will be times in which the arrows come out and you don't need to move many of them to have a very long path. Other times you need to spend a lot of actions to create a path. So right there, setup is very random. But even then, the point is that there will always be a perfect and optimal path which you can identify quite easily. So it is just an expenditure of actions that is not really fun or exciting to perform. You just know you have to pay that penalty pretty much to be able to have a path that gives you a chance of victory. And then you're thinking, okay, fine, we paid that tax to the board so we could have a path. Now we're gonna start having interesting decisions, where we're gonna place our obelisks, what resources we're going to spend to upgrade them. In truth, again, there is such a huge amount of randomness in the way the demons come out that in some cases you realize after 1 or 2 turns, what is the point? Because a lot of powerful demons came out and maybe the easy lands that don't give you penalties are on the portals, so by the time the powerful demons are out, they're gonna walk for the rest of the game only in those lands that give a lot of penalties, and you just don't have the time, don't have the resources to put powerful obelisks there. If the easy demons come out early, then you cast them with dice that are showing A1, then you use those to upgrade obelisks for the most powerful demons. There's a chance, but you really get a sense that if you're unlucky during setup, if you're unlucky with the powerful demons coming out early, then you just don't have much to do. And when Lady Luck decides to be graceful and to give you a chance, then the decisions that you have, again, are pretty obvious. If I can choose between putting an obelisk where I have a penalty and an obelisk when I don't, I'll put it where I don't have a penalty. It's just you don't have the kind of like tense, tough decisions that make a game interesting. The game is also punishingly difficult, but to me that is secondary. Here on the wall, where is it? I had it. Oh, there you go. We have Ghost Stories, which is one of my favorite cooperative games, and it's terrifyingly difficult. And yet, there are just many things that you can do. Telling yourself that you have a chance of winning, many ways in which you can tackle the problems, and when you lose, which you will, it's such a hard game, you get a chance, well, I guess I could have done things differently. With Obelisk, I don't have that sense. It's like, well, I did the best that I could, and really, the game is so limited that I thought really did all that I could. I did my best, and it wasn't good enough. And if you win, again, in a certain sense, you do get a sense that you can solve the game. And when the game can be solved, there is no satisfaction even in winning. To me, it's a game with limited options that are not so interesting and that give you things to do that in many cases are very obvious. And when they're not obvious, then you're confronting an impossible situation. So what is the point? That's it, Obelisk. I'm glad the designers loved it. I hope their friends and the playtesters loved it. To me, it was just a very bland game. Too much luck, not enough decisions to keep me interested. And this, alas, is my assessment of Obelisk.